8:08 first pitch. Your Dodgers up 2-0 over my Yankees. Shohei Ohtani will play as he has a partially dislocated shoulder. How important is that? It was weird to see Ohtani go down. It seemed like a nothing play, him trying to steal second, which he's done 59 times this season. But for him to play, how important do you think that is for this team? Obviously, it's like how special Ohtani is, but just for them to know they still have their best bat in the lineup.
Yeah. 59 steals in the regular season. I think he's 0 for 2 in the postseason, which is kind of a bad omen. But yes, scary situation there. You thought he was going down.
Yep.
And especially because he kind of got off immobile and, the situation just was looking bleak at that particular moment in time. But Dave Roberts has apparently come out and said that he's going to be okay for Game 3, so he did feel good about that. And for him to be in there with the shoulder situation, because those can get tricky, man. He's got a violent swing. He's not pitching right now, but excuse me, for me, it almost gives you a little bit pause as you think about his season next year, because he's going to be back on the mound.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, we can't have you stealing bags like that, because anything can happen around the bases. We want you to be able to be that two-way player that you've been, this phenomenal athlete. But it kind of was scary. But Shohei has really taken that part of his game up this season because of the fact that he wasn't pitching on the mound. But for the Dodgers to have him in Game 3 with the 2-0 lead, heading into a contest that has Walker Buehler on the hill, I think is pretty impressive. And it's massive for that group going into New York for the second time, but in the Yankee Stadium for the first time, obviously, in this World Series.
Yeah, it's, and like what's crazy with this Dodgers lineup is, say if Ohtani couldn't go, then it's like, all right, Mookie Betts will be the leadoff hitter. Freddie Freeman can be the DH. It's so deep, so good, but Ohtani will play. And I think it's important for a left-handed hitter. Obviously, the main power comes from his right arm, his right shoulder. So if he was a righty instead, there'd be a bigger question. But this is a guy that woke up in the NLCS, had an 1185 OPS heading into the World Series. It's huge they get him back. What do you make of this? This is such a big spot where the pressure is on for the Yankees. Of course, like they're back home. There's that relief you get. But you're down 0-2 in a World Series. You go 0-3, that Game 4 pressure, that Game 4 anxiety on every single pitch by the crowd in the Bronx, it'll be like they're on top of their players. This is a huge spot for the Yankees. What do you expect in Game 3, where it will be Clark Schmidt making the start for the Yankees opposite of Buehler?
And Clark Schmidt has had a solid year for the Yankees. Obviously, they wouldn't be here without his contributions and the thing that he has done to allow the team to get to this point in the series. But, it's funny because we just had the 04 Red Sox 20-year reunion and the Netflix documentary had just come out. So for me, like a 3-0 Dodgers lead would not put it into the coffin just yet, because I feel like ever since 04, teams have had that hope. And if you can pull on that, you still feel like, hey, we've seen it before. It can be done again. Although it has not. But still, like, I think this is a pivotal series for the Yankees, obviously, going in. Like, they need to win this game, and they need to do everything as if it's like a Game 7 for them. But they also, you got to win 4 to win the series to be ground champions. Just have yet to do that. So the series is not over by no means. I just, personally, I feel better if I'm the team that's up 2-0 rather than the team that's down 0-2. But, they still have an opportunity to win this series. And the series is it's not a series, as they say in basketball, until the away team wins, on your home floor or home stadium, as we have here in the World Series. So we'll see what happens. But I actually, I think it's going to be hotly contested like it's been. We'll just see how this one finishes.
Yeah, I've been disappointed by the Yankees' bats in this World Series. I thought a lot of runs would be scored. Both lineups are great. There's so many superstars. It's Mookie, it's Freddie Freeman, it's Shohei Ohtani, it's Juan Soto, it's Giancarlo Stanton, it's Aaron Judge. And I am saying Aaron Judge's name last for a reason, because he's been awful in this postseason. 6 for 40, 19 strikeouts. He's a 199 postseason career hitter. But think of the 2 losses. I mean, it was 6-3 in Game 1 on that walk-off grand slam. It's a 4-2 loss in Game 2. 3 home runs hit off Carlos Rodon. What made this Yankees lineup great, Jahmai, was how patient they were, how they were shortening up their swing. And they were getting on base, and then when a Giancarlo or Juan Soto would come up, or even an Anthony Rizzo, they would drive in. They would shorten up the swing and be patient and force walks. But That hasn't been the case. Where the Dodgers stayed relaxed, and I think this is where you got to give credit to Dave Roberts, where the game they were playing to get them to this point, they're still doing it. And for the Yankees, they kind of retracted back into what we've seen in postseason past. Where how many times have you seen the Yankees go out losing 2-1, 3-1? Just the lineup not showing up. That's what's happening now. I don't know if Aaron Judge is going to find himself in this World Series, but it's bigger than him because it is baseball. You need your lineup to show up and some unsung heroes. The Dodgers have had that. Their superstars have been great, but just throughout the lineup and the depth we've seen, they have been stepping up. And for the Yankees, it hasn't been the case where I'm going to bet on the lineup that's been there. And that's what gives me worry. Like you said, of course, you feel good. You feel better if you're the 2-0 team. But even going to the Bronx, I mean, the Dodgers beat the Padres. The Padres were the best offense in baseball, and that was getting the monkey off your back type of win for them. Like put little brother away and get him out of the way. Then they get into the World Series, and they're showing up. How Freeman stepped up into the spot playing with his bad ankle. It's just this Dodgers lineup has pulled through. This Yankees is yet to do so, and that's where the worry comes for me. It's even if the Yankees pull out one, to me, it looks like a Dodgers in 5, Dodgers in 6 to finish this World Series.
Yeah, well, I picked Dodgers in 6 to start this, but yeah, I can see it happening in 5 if the offense doesn't come together. More importantly, if Aaron Judge doesn't become the player that we expect him to be. But you talked about the superstars in this series. We don't got not just superstars. We got future Hall of Famers on both sides in this thing. So Aaron Judge, I think he struck out in 54.2% of his at-bats, 24 plate appearances. That's just not him. And in that span, he's swinging and missing on 40% of the pitches compared to 18% during the regular season. So he's not only gotten out of his offense, he's gotten out of his approach, but he's also gotten out of his foundational pieces that make him such a great hitter. So they've got to get him to get going. I think without him, this series is in the bag for the Dodgers.
He's too important. Jahmai, I want to ask you this. As someone that obviously the sidelines for the Red Sox, been around baseball for a long time, dedicates your summer to it every single year, but also a guy that is from LA, a Dodgers fan. A World Series ring for Shohei Ohtani. What would that do for his legacy, in your opinion?
I mean, this guy's already a Hall of Famer if he called it quits right now, I think, considering what he's brought to the game and what he's done. But for Shohei to be able to solidify a championship, I mean, he's won at every level. You know, in the KBO, he's obviously won in the World Baseball Classic. I think a World Series for him would just put a stamp on the career that he's had already to this point and elevate him to an even higher position because he's now assimilating or bringing in all of his pieces. And, you know, he's taking this deferred money on this massive contract because he wants to win. And he wants to win continuously. So to do this in his first year with the Dodgers would be big, but also set him up for the future.
Huge for baseball to get him out of Anaheim. Thank God they did. Shohei in the playoffs, let alone him in the World Series. And that does, again, as someone that does have a dog in this fight, when you look up that Dodgers payroll and you see Shohei Ohtani, $2 million this year, some team out there is seeing that and they're going, okay, Juan Soto, how would you like deferred money? You know, how badly do you want to win? That's better. That better be what they're thinking. But nonetheless, he shows up. And before it was Shohei there, Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Gavin Lux, the studs they've had up and down the lineup have been there. Hey,
I saw a report today that the Dodgers might be in on Soto next year, so we'll see. That could be crazy. Could you imagine?
They'll show them the Shohei contract, and they'll say, hey, this is what you could get in L.A. Just defer the money. You'll be set for life. That would be insane. A lineup of Mookie, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman, it would be nuts.
Oh, my gosh.